Yakuza Like a Dragon isn't just a game, it's a masterclass in leadership. As a 33-year-old business owner, I found this game surprisingly relatable and insightful. It's rare to see middle-aged characters who, like many of us, are navigating the ups and downs of life. Most games, at least RPGs, have a younger protagonist, making his way through high school, and for someone who is about twice that age, it's shockingly refreshing to be represented by somebody who has back pain and bad hips like I do. Join me as I share how this game taught me valuable lessons about leadership, positivity, and loyalty, as well as honor, duty, and the concept of legacy. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and please consider sharing your own insights in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Part 1. Realism and relatability to the characters. First off, let's talk about the age of the characters in Yakuza Like a Dragon. Unlike most games with teenage protagonists, this game features middle-aged characters who have faced their fair share of life's journeys. As someone in my 30s, this was incredibly refreshing and relatable. It's a game that understands that life journey doesn't end at 30. It often gets more interesting, or in Ichiban's context, 40 doesn't truly begin. The protagonist, Ichiban Kasuga, exemplifies this. He is not your typical hero. He's a man who has been through the ringer, down on his luck but never out. His journey resonates deeply with anyone who's faced setbacks in life and is striving to make a comeback, to better themselves, to re-assimilate into where the world is going and to be of value to those around you. His age and experience bring a depth to his character that younger protagonists, in my opinion, often lack, making his leadership journey all the more authentic and inspiring. Have you found the characters in Yakuza Like a Dragon relatable to your life experiences? How do you feel about the representation of middle-aged protagonists in gaming in general? Let's discuss in the comments. And if you're enjoying this deep dive into the game's leadership lessons, please consider showing your support by liking and sharing this video. Part 2. Positivity in leadership. Ichiban's approach to handling situations is a masterclass lesson in positivity. It's not about blind optimism or toxic positivity, which is pretending everything will be okay or ignoring material facts, downplaying the things around you that are very real and of concern. Instead, it's about finding the best in each situation and dealing with the challenges constructively. This resonated with me, both personally and professionally. As a business owner, I've learned that leadership isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about facing reality head-on and finding the best path forward, even if that hurts, and even if doing the right thing doesn't always feel right at the time. This approach is evident, I think, in the game's business minigame, which, by the way, I absolutely loved. It's a brilliant simulation of resource management, forcing players to make strategic decisions about labor and capital allocation. This minigame made me rethink how I handle these aspects in my own business professionally, teaching me the importance of strategic planning and adaptability in leadership. Another point about Ichiban's positivity, which I find so fascinating, is that it's widely agreed that in prison or sometime during that time, Ichiban suffered some sort of brain damage or psychological break because he genuinely sees the world around him as if it's a video game, specifically Dragon Quest. This isn't a theory, this is widely accepted and even self-referential in the game several times when his teammates essentially just brush it off, but that's the explanation behind the weapons, the spells, the enemies, the bosses, the general turn-based style of fighting. And it's fascinating because normally the media will portray somebody who is suffering from delusions or mental illness in this very negative, very sheltered way. But the way Ichiban sees the world around him, I think mirrors a lot of how people in leadership, at least people who are effective in leadership, see the world around them, where it's not an insurmountable society necessarily. It's a quest. It's a series of decisions, of choices, of conversations sometimes challenges that lead to a perfect outcome for everybody. And the fact that Ichiban sees this in this way and is not mocked, but referred to as having undergone some sort of psychiatric break is interesting, because many business owners that I know, if you ask them how they see the world, maybe it wouldn't be a Dragon Quest video game, but it would very much be the same, I can beat this, I can climb this mountain if I try, type of attitude. And I think it's very cool to see that in a way contrasting him in many ways with Goku from Dragon Ball Z, who himself is very positive as a character. But Ichiban, I think, is almost like the foil to Goku. It's almost like the real grown-up version of that story, where you have somebody who, for whatever reason, sees the world a different way than the rest of us, and people are naturally drawn to that person for leadership. Now, that's good and bad, because in history, people who are very charismatic, which positivity can often be miscategorized as charisma and vice versa, those type of people tend to move toward power and tend to show the dark side of that power and allows it to corrupt them. And we see that in, I think, great detail in the foil to Ichiban in this particular story. But in the next section, we're going to discuss Aoki, Ichiban, Master Arakawa, and the entire Tojo and Arakawa family in general. Part 3. Loyalty and honor in business and personal life. The theme of loyalty in Yakuza Like a Dragon is beautifully portrayed through Ichiban's unwavering loyalty to his Yakuza family, in particular Chairman Arakawa, his both literal and figurative father figure. This loyalty, rooted in love and honor, is a powerful leadership lesson. It shows that placing your trust and loyalty in something or someone can drive you and those around you to achieve great things. Chairman Arakawa, in particular, is a character I absolutely adore. He reminds me of my grandfather, who was the kindest, most forward-looking man I've ever known, completely selfless. And Arakawa's wisdom, compassion, and strength are qualities that resonate deeply with me, both in my personal life and life as a business person. Those are things that I wish I had more of. Seeing him, much older than I am, gives me hope on who I can be when I get to that age, as long as I keep developing myself personally. Now contrast this with Aoki, who is, as we know, Chairman Arakawa's adopted son through strange circumstances, not his biological son, Masato Arakawa, who was very sick at one point, very angry, led a very hard life as well, but a life of privilege. As he was the chairman's son, he wanted for nothing. However, he was in a wheelchair, and he was very angry at the world around him. Interestingly enough, the event that catalyzed the entire series, which landed Ichiban in jail to begin with, was essentially Masato Arakawa shooting a Yakuza member and then developing this overall hatred for the Yakuza, which he later on took to the streets and created Bleach Japan and did everything he could to get the Yakuza disbanded. It's the whole story. I recommend playing the game for the in-depth on that. However, if you compare the hate that Aoki had, who in many ways is like a brother to Ichiban, raised by Ichiban's real father, who was Chairman Arakawa, switched at birth at the train station. Comparing that level of hate in planning what you do, and of course, Aoki, Masato Arakawa, was very charismatic as well, garnered a ton of political support, but was hungry for power, wanted to harm the Yakuza, wanted to hurt his father. Compare that to Ichiban, our protagonist, who did everything he did out of love, duty, and honor. If you remove this story for just a moment from the Japanese lens, this is the classic good guy American story. The prodigal son returns and, makes up with the chairman. They go on to make a difference and right the wrongs of the world. But the twist here is that this is not an American story. This is not even a story told about America or by Americans. This is a Japanese story made by Japanese storytellers. And so the fact that they tell such a culturally specific story in such a globally referential and a globally understandable way is absolutely masterful, because I think there is not one culture in the world who doesn't have a Lion King story like this one. And I very much see this story structure to be similar to those great stories like The Lion King, like Joseph Conrad's hero's journey, like Odysseus, right? If you compare this story to all of those, Ichiban's story is the paradigm shift of all of these, because it's not grand fantasy. It's not sailing across the world and conquering sirens. It's literally going to jail for the wrong thing, coming out, making your life better than it ever could have possibly been before the tragedy happened to you. There's nothing stronger than that, in my opinion. I think that's so powerful, and I'm so glad that the Yakuza Like a Dragon RGG Studios took the time to weave this story into the plot of the game. In conclusion, Yakuza Like a Dragon is so much more than a game to me. It's been a profound lesson in leadership, positivity, and the importance of loyalty and honor. As a 33-year-old man, as a business owner, as someone who is a husband, so trying to be a father one day, I found inspiration in its realistic portrayal of middle-aged characters and the depth of their life experiences. Ichiban's journey, Arakawa's wisdom, and even Aoki's mistakes have taught me invaluable lessons about leading with honor, positivity, and integrity. I want to thank you for joining me on this exploration of leadership lessons from Yakuza Like a Dragon. If you found these insights helpful or have your own experiences to share, please subscribe below to the channel and join the conversation. I look forward to hearing from you. And as always, if you're passionate about finding the deeper meanings and life lessons in games, don't forget to subscribe and share. Your support helps bring these important discussions to a wider audience. Stay tuned for more content where we uncover the unexpected wisdom in gaming. Until then, keep leading with positivity and honor, just like Ichiban. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos where we explore the impact of entertainment on mental health. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Stay safe, stay shining, and keep gaming.